5.
Good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, June 15th, and we're at General Finance. We have quorum. It is 9:05. If we could do first, and I'll tell you that I've been nominated as chairperson. So I'll start the meeting off with an attendance, and we'll start over with Amos.
Scanos Fuego, Amos Key Jr. here.
Terry Bomberry. Dale Bomberry.
Scano, Hazel Johnson.
Good morning, Melba Thomas.
Elena Venevri.
Cynthia Jameson.
We have Greg online. Good morning, Greg.
Morning.
Good, you can hear us. And we have some counselors away with regrets, Helen, Leslie, and Audrey. The chief is away on council business, and we will be hopefully seeing Dean shortly. I believe that's all of us. So we can get started with number 2, that's changes, deletions, and adoption of the agenda. Does anybody have anything to add? Seeing none. A mover for that is Dale. A second, Carrie. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, thank you. That's passed. We'll move on to number 3 is the general finance minutes for June 1st. Melba, are you moving with a question?
Not a question, a comment. I just want to thank Shirley. I think this is the one where I really got mixed up and ended up getting here at noon. So they did a wellness check, and I did hear her knock, but I don't go to the door with my night clothes on. So finally they did send the police, send the paramedics, which is good service, really, to see how I am. Yeah, why am I not at a meeting? So I thank council and Shirley specifically and first responders for their service and caring. Thank you.
You're so important to us, Melba. So Melba has moved the minutes. Seconder, Dale. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none. No delegations or presentations on this agenda. We'll move straight on to 5, which is the ISK Comprehensive Funding Agreement Amendment 194. Deb, are you speaking to that?
Yes, I can. So, Council has entered into a 5-year comprehensive funding arrangement with Indigenous Services Canada beginning April 1st, 2021 until March 31st of 2026. And that has just recently been extended to March 31st of 2028. So prior to each fiscal year, a startup amending agreement is provided for the annualized funding, and then additional amendments that come in throughout the year for supplemental funds will be sent like this. So the following amendments for fiscal year 26-27 have been received. They do require signature by Chief and Council, and this is amendment number 194 in the amount of $503,525. So again, that's $551,503.25. So amendment number 194 will provide increased funding for the following programs. Lands and Membership Admin and Support Service in the amount of $176,503.25, and Reserve Land and Environment Management Program in the amount of $375,000. So the recommendation is, whereas Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council has entered into a 5-year comprehensive funding agreement with Indigenous Services Canada, and whereas the CFA, or Comprehensive Funding Agreement 194, has been received for council approval and signatures. Therefore, be it resolved that Six Nations of the Grand River elected council approve and sign the following comprehensive funding agreement number 194 for fiscal year 26-27 between His Majesty the King in Right of Canada as represented by the Minister of Indigenous Services and the Six Nations of the Grand River. Amendment includes additional funding, again, for lands and membership, admin and support services, and reserve land and environmental management program.
Aside from potentially adding the total into the motion, the 551,503.25, just the total, are there any other comments or questions, Dale?
Yeah, my comment was gonna be directly in line with that, because usually it's worded right in the motion, like therefore it be resolved, and it's usually within there, it's usually the number in bracket and then spelled out in words. Historically, that's been an issue, it's just not listed today, but I think I can move on it if we're gonna make that change, to put the words in there and the numbers within the motion itself. I know it down and below, it's a little, it says amendment 194, but that's sort of like a little attachment schedule, but it's the resolution that we're working on, and I think it should be included.
Okay, moved by Dale with that change. Amos?
I would even, and because this is a record, that we included in brackets the year, the 5 years, the date, somewhere in sentence number 1, whereas it tells us that we went into an agreement, maybe right after that, the dates in brackets.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all, Chair.
Tia, that's possible? Perfect. Will you second that, Amos?
I'll second it.
Okay, moved by Dale, second by Amos, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that's carried, thank you. And a waive second reading on that. Moved by Amos, second by Dale, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, carried, thank you. Moving on to number 6, is that going to be you, Deb, or Wayne? Amendment 199 and 200 now that Wayne's here. Welcome, Wayne. Wayne's having technical difficulties. He's going to get with us in 1 minute.
I can go ahead.
Sure.
Okay, this is for amendment number 199 and number 200. So again, this is regarding the 5-year comprehensive funding agreement with Indigenous Services Canada for the term beginning April 1st, 2021 until March 31st, 2026, which has again recently been extended to March 31st, 2028. So the following amendments for fiscal year 26-27 have been received and will require signature by Chief and Council. Amendment number 199 in the amount of $46,229,303.42, and amendment number 200 in the amount of $7,641,302. Again, that's for amendments 199 and 200. Whereas the Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council has entered into a 5-year comprehensive funding agreement with ISC, and whereas CFA amendment numbers 199 and 200 have been received for council approval, therefore be it resolved that Six Nations of the Grand River Elected Council approve and sign the following comprehensive funding agreement amendment numbers 199 and 200 for fiscal year 2026-27 between His Majesty the King in Right of Canada as represented by the Minister of Indigenous Services and the Six Nations of the Grand River. This amendment includes additional funding for the following departments, programs, and projects. For Amendment 199, First Nations Child and Family Services, First Nations representatives, in the amount of $5,301,920. First Nations Child and Family Services Program Services in the amount of $3,751,923. First Nations Child and Family Services Prevention in the amount of $36,027,607. The Family Violence Prevention Program in the amount of $138,795.42. The Women's Shelter Base Operational Funding in the amount of $509,058. The Women's Shelter Transitional Housing in the amount of $500,000. For Amendment 200, we have the Reserve Land and Environment Protection in the amount of $22,000. Health System Support for Accreditation in the amount of $24,192. The First Nations Child and Family Services on Reserve Housing in the amount of $7,041,660. The Mental Wellness Program in the amount of $500,000. And funerals and burials in the amount of $53,450.
Cynthia, question?
Mr. Seward. I have my glasses cases, but not my glasses today. That Amendment 199, the transitional housing for 500,000, then Amendment 200, it is, where did I see that there? Oh, here. First Nations Child and Family Services on Reserve Housing, 7 million plus. Is that new housing? Or is that something already that's in the works? I wasn't sure.
So this would be new housing, correct, Wayne? It's because all of these are amendments to the existing contribution agreement. So this would be in addition to.
Yeah, it's with regards to the CHRT funding specifically, so it is all new.
And we have plans already for what we have received the past, and this is what we in addition to. Okay.
I don't know who was first, so we'll go in alphabetical order. Amos and then Dale.
Okay, thanks. Again, it's just a style. We should put the subtotal for each one of those and then a total in this resolution, and I'll move it if we do that. And again, citing the dates as well, that it goes into effect. But I'll move it first and I'll have another question if you don't mind. Or do you want me to ask it now?
Go ahead.
We just dealt with amendment number 194. What happened to the other four between 194 and 199? Are there other amendments that we passed previously? Like, how did we do that if we didn't do 194 yet? And now we're doing 199. Answers?
Wayne, go ahead.
So some of the amendments might be for changes in reporting requirements. I believe that they're still brought here, but there wouldn't be any financial implications. At times, there's NOBAs, notice of budget adjustments, which they actually replace the amendment number, so they're not necessarily 100% sequential. But we'll get a detailed list of all of them anyway for you, Amos.
Thank you very much.
Okay, moved by Amos. Dale, are you seconding? With a comment, go ahead.
Again, in line with Amos, like, why don't we do 199, put that total there, and then again read it spelled out plus number, and 200, same thing, and then on the bottom it says amendments. Maybe it should be in amendments with the S includes the following. Then you got it listed below the breakdown. And then I guess my question was too, in relation to all this money, which money is the CHRT money? And my understanding of the CHRT, are we still working that with that big comprehensive community plan that council wants? Because I know this is new money, I know there's old money sitting there, but the new money, I know we're responsible now because of it's putting in all these new guidelines on everybody. So I was just wondering how that's gonna be broken down, and then just to clarify, I guess, that what is CHRT money, and that we track it and log it separate.
So in regards to your first question, Dale, yes, there is that comprehensive plan. So Jill has been made aware of the plan and is actively working with Arliss on that. And then in terms of the CHRT, um, it's a lot of where you see First Nations Child and Family Services is a lot of the CHRT money that's coming in. And like you said, that's new funding coming in. So it doesn't include previous funding that the budget has been created for the unexpended funding. So that plan is still actively, we're still actively working on that. And we are working with ISC on that plan.
And as well, it's not just social, right? Because anybody dealing with families and children. So there's a lot of organizations and community service programs that need to be part of that discussion to have that plan. I had one more question, but it escapes me right now.
Okay, so I'll give you a minute to think about that. And just before Carrie, we're going to add the totals in there. I believe it's $46,229,303.42 for Amendment 199, and the $7,641,302 for Amendment 200. And Tia, in the breakdown of Amendment 199, the total for Family Violence Prevention Program, and this is just me being OCD, is 138,795.42. So there's a comma between the 5 and the 42 cents, if it could be a decimal point. And a question from Carrie.
Yeah, I see the Child and Family Services, representatives, program services, prevention. I don't see any protection. Is that, wouldn't that be part of it? If it was CHRT money? I don't know who would answer that.
So this money comes to us spelled out like this, Carrie. So when it comes to protection, we are going to be working with OGD on this. However, when it comes to us, it's laid out the way we've given it to you. That's part of the contribution agreement. So it is prevention focused money. However, like I mentioned, we are doing a comprehensive community wellness plan where we will be working with organizations in the community to identify needs throughout as it pertains to children and families.
Wayne, go ahead.
And just a little further clarification on there, there is a small portion for protection within that amount, to the tune of a couple of $100,000. It is a small portion specifically identified.
Dale.
That was my other question. Carrie brought it up in relation to, because I know there's 4 areas in that CHRT money, and protection is one of them. So that was my other question, was that.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none, that's carried. And waive second reading. Amos and Dale, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none. Okay, that's carried. And we have no new business added to the agenda, so that brings us to number 7, which is a motion to adjourn to in camera. Moved by Dale.
Chair, just before we adjourn,
Go ahead, Greg.
can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me very well? I can hardly hear you.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, okay. Just before we adjourn, I just wanted to, it's not really that much of new business. I just wanted to, in the open, congratulate our FIFA opening dancers that put on a great show on Friday. And they include, of course, our Joe Martin, and I just wanted to mention their names for the community. Mandy Bomberry, Blaze Longboat, Mandy's children. She had 3 children in the show: Keaton, Presley, and Sunshine. They did a great job at the opening ceremonies. Again, I would just like to thank FIFA and City of Toronto, as well as the Indigenous Sport and Wellness Ontario. They will be supplying future events in our community, cultural events. They may occur at the powwow. They may come as drone shows, and also for tourism support and cultural events. As you know, the market is named after in a Mohawk name, G. Dugalando, which means where the trees are standing in the water, or where the logs are half submerged in the water, however you want to say it. So we do have presence there. I just wanted to make sure the community is aware that we have active presence at FIFA, and it will be on for another 20 days or so. So I just wanted to make that and congratulate our dancers for putting on a great show at FIFA on Friday. So thank you, Chair, for allowing me to say that.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't see your little digital hand up there, Greg. I appreciate that update. Um, again, Dale has a question.
Yeah, I got a comment.
Comment.
I know, I think I mentioned this the other day, Wayne. I know there was, a while back, we had an issue when these amendments were coming to council, and some were coming that we needed to sign, and there was a lot of little ones that weren't coming, but I thought we had made a decision that they would come once a month, and I know they haven't been here in a while, so I know you and Chris were gonna bring those, so I'm just wondering when they're gonna start coming again, all those little small ones that you guys sign and send back.
We're working towards the next month meeting, so when we're at a little better capacity.
Okay, number 7, motion to adjourn to in camera. Dale moved by Dale, second by Carrie. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing none. Thank you very much. Thank you, community, for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.